on out there tonight?
Well, you stumped me now.
Check out our website, MannimalResearch.com. Thanks to everybody. Hello. What's going on out there tonight? Hope everyone is doing well. Those of you that will join us live tonight, those of you that will catch it later, hope all of you are doing well, and we appreciate the support. Thank you very, very much. As you see, as like most nights, I am joined by my partner in crime, Mr. Derek Jasper Walls. How's it going, buddy?
I'm good. I'm trying to get our guest on here. We're having technical difficulties with the thing, trying to get it everything set up. It's not something's not letting her have permission, so we're trying to get her in here.
I know, man. Y'all just do your best. Got a few minutes. Let her keep trying. We've been excited about this one for a little bit. Lady lives in Alabama. Got some strange stuff going on out her way on her property. Got some pictures to share with you guys, and really been excited about having her on for a while. So man, I'm hoping she can get it figured out. Even if she can't get the video working, maybe we can get the audio working or something.
Yeah.
Is she giving any updates or nothing really working?
No, not yet. She's trying to get in and connect again to get it so she can get in.
Okay. All right, we'll go through our regular stuff, and maybe she'll pop on. What's been up with you, buddy? How you been?
Good, pretty good. I'm kind of sore right now. I got dumped on my neck last night. And,
you got what?
I got dumped on my neck last night.
Too old for that stuff, man.
No, guy did a move a little too early and got me. It's all right. I'm still moving. Wasn't too bad. But other than that, waiting to get this done, and still been listening more of that our battlefield thing, trying to see if I hear some more stuff. There's a few odds and ends here. You'd have to hear it step by step with earphones. You can hear things in the distance. But yeah, and hopefully tomorrow, if some of you saw the pictures on my other Facebook, that hopefully I'll have a new car. It has all-wheel drive, has sportage version, and it's pretty cool.
I thought you already got the car.
I got approved and everything, but they're waiting for a certain paperwork from my job to make sure I get everything done. It's been approved and everything. The car's sitting there waiting. I just got to wait for paperwork because being on 1099, they had the boss, they got to come up with something, proper thing, knowing that I actually work for them. So trying to get everything, make sure to dot the T's and cross the dot the I's and cross the T's.
Oh, good deal, man. I saw the car on Facebook. It's a good looking car.
Yeah, brand new too. It'll be my first ever brand new car. I've busted my butt since the X and and I even walked in there. I told him, I said, I'm gonna try, but I know y'all can't do nothing. And sat there, and I kind of just said a little prayer. I said, if you can help me out here, I said, I need a good car. I mean, I love my little blue car, and they came back and said, this is what we got to have. They started to say they was going to give me $1,800 for my blue. Then turned around, big boss man came back and said, we'll give you $4,000. I was like, excuse me? He said, you just put $1,000 down. I said, you got it. And I got approved 146 miles on it.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, dude, that's my first ever real brand new car.
Did a 2021?
2021. Yep.
Nice.
I even looked at the 2022s. They had 22s over there already.
Good deal, man. I'm happy for you. Hope everything goes well, and next time we go out, we can go out in style.
Yeah, I'm gonna start looking. Once I get everything set up, and once it's in the driveway, I'm gonna start looking for some light bars, and I'm gonna get it decked up a little bit.
Good deal. Good deal. Any word from our lady?
Not yet. She's trying.
Man.
I think she's refreshing. She was active 3 minutes ago.
Man, I've been really looking forward to this. There's some crazy stuff going on her property, man. I want to talk to her to do what?
I mean, she's still in the thing of thinking about letting us come down. It'd probably something as me, you, and one other person, and maybe doing it, or it could be just me and you. Not sure. It's just one of those things that she don't want the location known. So,
Yeah,
you guys, we won't be saying nothing about the location. We're just going to say South Alabama, and that's it.
Yeah, we can definitely do that, man. People do that all the time. Ain't no thing. If she don't want her info getting out, it won't get out. But just as a little bit of spoiler, she thinks that she's got Bigfoot and maybe Dogman and some paranormal stuff going on out there, don't she?
Yeah, she's got. She's texting me now. She actually brought out the Dogman more than she did the Bigfoot, but she knows there's possibly a Bigfoot there because of all the tracks and the pictures that we have that she actually sent us from her work and from their house. But she has a recording, which I don't think he was able to get it on here. She has a recording that it's not a Bigfoot howl. It sounds crazy and scary. The way it just howl. It's like a howl, but it's like more deeper than what we've heard as Bigfoots. It's something. And you can hear the coyotes near it, and it's something. She's got some stuff.
What's she saying?
She's tried the link twice. It's still saying block. Blocks. Trying to find the settings.
She's got to do something to cut.
She didn't reset her path. You know what? I'm gonna go off mic real quick. I'm gonna go off screen. I'm gonna see if I can get her on FaceTime and see if we can do it. Then I can block her screen. Maybe we can do it that way, and she can explain, and we can ask questions.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Because we got the pictures. Hang on.
All right, guys. Sorry about this. Technical difficulties. StreamYard is pretty easy to use, but when you have to use your phone, you have to go through and allow certain things and then go through and turn this on and give access to this and that and all this stuff. And some people just have a harder time with it than others. To be honest, most of the time when we have people on, like older people, and I've never met this lady. I don't know how old she is, but less tech savvy people, I should say. Most of the time, their kids have to do it for them, and that would probably be the case for me, to be honest. But I asked Walls if she had somebody there younger, maybe a little more tech savvy that could help, and that's just not the case there. So maybe they'll get it figured out. I don't know. But anyway, guys, want to ask everybody if you would hit that subscribe button if you have not done so already. Sure do appreciate the support. I know I say that a lot. It's because I mean it a lot. Really do, guys. Thank you very much. Head over to mannimalresearch.com. Check out our website. Get some info about getting out in the woods, doing your own research, investigations, maybe becoming a member of Mannimal out where you're at. Be happy to talk to you about that. You can also report your encounters, your sightings, and just ask questions and get just more information about us as a group. Be happy to talk to you. head over and check out Mannimal Research on Facebook. We have a group over there, got around 800 members. So it's not a huge group, but we're a year and a half old, something like that. To be honest, probably need to put a little more time and effort into building that group up, but it's so busy, man. Trying to do research and lining up guests and doing 2 shows a week and trying to do the Mannimal Encounter stuff and working a full-time job and getting married soon. And my daughter will be here soon. My plate is full. So it's hard to do everything, but I'm stretched pretty thin, but I'm doing the best I can. Anyway, said all that just to say that the Facebook group has suffered a little bit because of it, but things get settled out, leveled out a little bit. I'm gonna work on growing that group a little bit. So guys, if you don't mind, if you're not already a member on Facebook, run over to Mannimal Research on Facebook and join the group. I mentioned just briefly our Mannimal Encounters. Yeah, there it is. Mannimal Encounters at yahoo.com. Guys, if y'all have any encounters with the big guys or Dogman, paranormal, UFO, anything like that, and you don't want to come on the show to talk about it, you still want to get your story out there, it's very important that you get your story out there. Head over to Mannimal Encounters and send it to us, and that's an option that you have to do as well. Give me some good news, man. What you got? He's got it muted.
Okay.
I have her on the phone. I got her on speaker. She's trying to so she can see the show and turn her volume down and watch the show, and then she can answer our questions on the speakerphone, on the home phone. So
okay, it might be a little bit of a delay though, so I don't know how that's going to work. Can she hear me okay?
Yeah, she hear you. Can you?
I can hear you.
Did you hear?
Yeah. What's her name? Alyssa?
No, Lisa.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Okay, Lisa, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay, good, very good. Yeah, well, I'm Wayne, by the way. Nice to meet you finally. I'm sorry that you're having a little bit of trouble, but maybe we can make this work this way. I hear you got some pretty strange stuff going on out your way.
Yeah, it comes and goes. A lot of times, you can hear things walking around in the woods at night, and it's that, and then there's a little bit of paranormal stuff at the same time. Sometimes it's scary. Sometimes it just makes you kind of turn around and look. Where's that coming from?
Okay, and has how it's just happening on your property, right?
Yeah.
How long have you?
Surrounding area, but I don't know. I don't talk to anybody. I don't know that much. If anyone else around me is having the same thing. I have heard stories from on down from where I live, but not right there where I'm at.
Okay, how long have you owned the property?
This will be 19 years now.
Oh, wow. And in the 19 years that you've been there, how long or when did things first started happening?
As soon as I moved in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
There were times when I used to just go outside and I'd sit on my steps debating on whether, sometimes if I wanted to just leave and just let it all go and not come back. But, when you're stuck and making a house payment, there's not many choices that you've got, so you have to stay.
I think we all understand that.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, tell us a little bit about what happened first. What the first thing that happened to you that kind of gave you an idea that something might be going on there that isn't normal. What was the first thing that happened?
You want cryptid stuff? stuff or spooky stuff?
Just whichever one.
Okay. Well, when I first moved out there, I had I was staying in my middle bedroom, and my mother's stuff, I had put that in the master bedroom. Of course, you know, in between trying to get out there, she passed away, so she wasn't able to be out there with me. So for 6 months, I didn't even go in that room. I couldn't look at her stuff, so I didn't even walk in that room. The door stayed shut. I started having these horrific nightmares, and that wasn't normal because this was like an every night thing. And you would wake up and you'd still hear whispers, you know, like you did when you were dreaming. And so finally, you know, about 6 months later, I decided I was going to go in there and pack her stuff up and just move into that bedroom because I'd had enough of that other one. And I kind of had a feeling that it was that room for some reason. And the day that I go to walk into that room, I'm standing there and I reach out to grab the doorknob and I just pulled my hand back because the doorknob was already turning. And I'm standing there looking at the doorknob turning, and then all of a sudden the door opens up all the way back to the wall. It stays open for a second, and then it just slowly closes and clicks shut again. And I'm like, no. We can't do that today. So it took me another 2 weeks before I could get up the courage to go in there when that happened. And I was thinking, okay, we got some crazy mess out here now, you know. But
well, first off, let me tell you, I hate to hear that about your mother. My condolences there.
Oh, that was back in 2002. It's been a while, but thank you.
Yeah, I lost mine about 7 years ago, and it's not an easy thing to go through. But so yeah, that sounds terrifying. That your first encounter was actually a paranormal one.
Yeah. The next time, I'd be in the shower. I'd get showered with pennies and nickels and dimes, and it was one of those glass doors that slide, and you'd have soap all over your face and everything, shampoo in your hair, and if it wasn't like a penny or 4 or 5, you know, coins or something coming over the top of the door and landing all over you, you would have all this soap in your face, and then it was just like somebody took an air hose, you know, like you when the air blows out real fast or real hard. Well, that would blow in my face, and it was like ice cold air being just poofed in my face just one time, and you just be sitting there, you know, thinking, do I need to open my eyes up, you know, and I'd be just slapping my face trying to get all the soap off, you know, but I was still scared to kind of open my eyes up because I didn't know what might be standing there. But, you know, it never was anything. It was just something messing with me. Another time I came home, and it seemed like a lot of it was like in that bathroom for some reason. But I had come home from work, and I took a shower, and when I got out of the shower, all the mirrors were steamed up, and there's 3 mirrors in there. There's one big mirror right in front of a tub, and then the 2 mirrors, you know, on the sinks and stuff. And everything was bent down to dry my legs off. And as soon as I stand back up, my name is scrawled out in foot-long letters across the big mirror in front of the tub. And I went flying out the door then, and I stopped at the front door because I was thinking, you dumb butt, you don't have any clothes on. You know, it's just stuff like that is it'll kind of put you off.
No, I can imagine. It'd do more than put you off. Now, we'll come back to the paranormal, to stuff here in just a few minutes. Let's hear about the first encounter with the cryptid. Could you walk us through that, please?
Excuse me. The first time that I had anything like that happen, it was getting close towards dark, and I took it outside, and I I sat down and I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone, and I was just a little swinging back and forth just a little bit, and I wasn't paying much attention. And I've got a fence that goes all the way around my house, and so I'm sitting there, and I'm just kind of looking up every now and then, and the fence was about 25 feet in front of me, and so I finally I just kind of glanced up to the fence, and I stopped swinging back and forth. It jolted me because there was this thing standing there. It was halfway over the fence. Its back feet were on the ground on the other side of the fence, but it was bent over at, I guess, the hips, and it was halfway down the fence on my side, and its head was sticking straight up, looking straight at me. On its left hand, its thumb was almost down at the bottom of the fence. Its thumb was hooked into the fence, and its right arm, its elbow was bent all the way back, and its right thumb was hooked at the top of the fence. Now, this thing, I had not heard it. I didn't see it. But there it was. It was just like right there. It was crawling over the fence towards me. And as soon as I kind of jumped and saw that, it sat there for another, it seemed like a minute or two, but it wasn't. Like right there, staring me straight in the eyes. It had red eyes. Now, it looked like a solid black wolf. That's exactly what it looked like. It had a body. The head on it was big. But it sat there staring at me, and I was staring at it. And then all of a sudden, it just slowly raised up. And that scared me because I didn't know what it was fixing to do. And I kind of pushed back farther in the swing. And this thing, it shoved off of my fence so hard and so fast that it shook the entire fence all the way around my house. And when it took off, it went just flying off into the woods. And that was my first little deal there, because at first I was thinking, my God, have they let wolves out in Alabama? And for something to be that big, I hadn't heard anybody talking about anything like that. And at that time, I hadn't heard anything about Dogman or anything like that. But with it being bent over, I didn't really see it standing up or anything like that on two legs. But for it to be that stealthy and that quiet, to be able to crawl over the fence and me just sitting right there, that really creeped me out.
Now, was it on? I know it was on the fence. Did you ever see it when it wasn't on the fence? What I'm trying to get at is, was it on four legs or two?
Well, when it was on the fence, it's almost like if somebody bent over, and they were bent over at the waist. And let's say the top of the fence was like right at your waist, where your body's bent at. That's kind of the way it was. But when it started pushing back, where it was kind of standing up just a little bit, it was still kind of hanging onto the fence. And me not knowing what it was, thinking that it was just there was a wolf there. I didn't know any better, and it never completely stood up on its own. Standing there looking at me. As soon as it took its thumbs and worked itself back up to the top of the fence, it just completely just pushed off of the fence. It shoved off against it and just whirled around and went, sailing back through the woods.
When it went back through the woods, was it on four legs or two?
It had to have been on four, because I didn't see it standing up to run off. So it was on four. But the thing that got me was the fence is 4 feet high, and for it to be bent over at its waist like that, I was thinking, God, what kind of legs does this thing got,
And if I remember right, you described thumbs, right? You remember seeing thumbs?
Yeah, and that was another thing, because I was sitting there, trying to wrap my skull around, the thumbs are hooked into the fence. You know how on a fence, the holes in are like 3 or 4 inches long and maybe about 2.5, 3 inches wide. That's what kind of fence it was, and it had the thumbs hooked into the fence itself. And I don't really remember the fingers, but it kind of stunned me that its elbow was bent all the way back, on its right side, and that thumb was hooked at the top of the fence, and then on the left side, some was hooked down at the bottom of the fence, and it just had its head up, just staring at me.
That's terrifying. And so you said the eyes kind of shine red.
Yeah, they were red. Now the sun was going down, so it's kind of like in the late afternoon, sort of. So I don't know if it was the sun reflecting off of those eyes or whether they were just red themselves. I don't know. I do know that about 6 months after that, I was going into town and I saw an animal on the side of the road, and it's not a big ditch, it's not deep, it just kind of slopes down, and I thought, golly, somebody's dog has gotten, hurt, but the closer I got up to it, I could see the head moving, like bobbing up and down and stuff, and I turned my bright lights on, and it was one of those. It was the same kind of thing, but the only thing is this one wasn't as big as that one that I had seen at my house. And when the same thing, the eyes were red, I just floored it and I got on past the thing, but it held its head up and watched me go by. It was chewing on something on the side of the road. I don't know if this one was a younger one or maybe it was just a smaller one, but it wasn't as big as the one that I had seen at my house.
And this was down the road from your house?
Yeah, this was probably about 3 miles from my house at that point.
Lisa, do you remember if you had had any kind of smell anywhere?
I don't remember any smell. I don't remember any bad smell or anything like that when that one came up and trying to crawl over the fence. I don't remember any kind of smell at all. And that's the thing, the ones that I have seen out there, I haven't gotten a smell. Not any kind of rancid, like people talk about dead meat and all that stuff. I haven't smelt anything like that.
Okay. Do you remember, I remember you telling me one time, I think it was in the Texas that we've talked about down there. Then you had one of your dogs. Did you feel like it was being stalked or you was being stalked, and they seemed like it was just pretty much stalking y'all? You think it would have probably maybe died that day?
Yeah, I think this one had been watching me. Excuse me. The way when I would come home, one of my dogs, he would race around and around my truck when I'd pull up in the yard, and I don't have any yard lights or anything like that, so it's kind of dark out there, and I would hear him running around and around my truck panting because he'd just fly as fast as he could go, and so I think that this thing had been watching because that night when I pulled up, I heard the running around the truck, and I was thinking it was my dog, and so I didn't think anything about it, except, the panting sound was a little bit louder, but, that was normal for him sometimes if he had gotten real close to the truck. But I got out, and I had my flashlight, and, well, let me back up. This was a couple of nights before, okay? This was a couple of nights before. So I got out of my truck, and I had my flashlight, and I didn't see him, and I thought that he had run around on the other side of the truck. So I shined my flashlight to the back of the truck where the bumper is, and just as I did, something went past the bumper, and it was a light tan color. And I was thinking, oh God, because this thing was huge, and I was thinking somebody's dog is out. And I jumped back in the truck because, I'm looking for my dog, and then there's this dog, and it was a light tan color. So I got back in my truck and everything, and I turned the cargo light on. I turned my light back on, and I was shining the flashlight and everything, and I didn't see it. I didn't see it anywhere, and I'm thinking, well, I hope it didn't get up under my truck. And so I sat there for a minute, and I kept looking around, and I thought, well, heck with this, let me get on out. Well, when I get out, then here comes my dog, and he's standing there looking at me and stuff. Now, Had him on the head, and go on about my business. I was just sitting there talking to him. You've been playing with somebody's dog, and so it was like I think it was 2 nights later. I come home, and the same thing, running around the truck, hearing the breathing and things like that, and so I go ahead and get out, and my dog is not there. He's not there anywhere. And I'm sitting there calling for him. He's not coming up or anything. And finally, I look around and he comes creeping out from under my shed, and he's coming over there, and he kind of sits down, hunkers down a little bit, looking at me. His ears are all back, and his tail's down and stuff. And I'm sitting there asking, "What's wrong with you?" And just talking to him, and he kind of looks over towards the weeds and the bushes and stuff, and he looks back at me, and I finally asked him, I said, you gonna come in the fence tonight? But he starts growling, and he starts looking over there, and I said, if that's that dog, I said, you need to leave that dog alone. And I said, that dog's way bigger than you are, and I said, he'll tear you up. And so he kind of, it's like he got between me and going into that direction there. And as soon as I opened my gate up and everything, it's almost like he was kind of not pushing up against me, because at that point, the only thing I could do with him was maybe touch the top of his head. Somebody had thrown him out in my yard. They had some guys had tied him to a tree in my yard, and I couldn't do anything, like touch him, put my arms around him or anything like that. The only thing I could do is pet him. But he kept growling and growling, and I finally, I stood there for a second. I said, "Are you coming in here?" And he wouldn't come in, so I said, well, heck with it. So I locked the gate back, and I was walking to the house, and I heard him take off. And he went over there to the brush and everything where you can't really see in there. And he was just raising Cain. And I hollered out for him. I said, that dog is going to tear you up. I said, leave that dog alone, because I figured that other dog had come back. So I'm unlocking my door, and then I hear him just tearing the bushes up and the leaves. You could hear everything it's like he was just tearing stuff up, running back. And I shine the light back, and I see him coming back towards the fence, heading towards the shed, and his back legs, his back feet are in front of his head. It's like he was twisted up in a triangle running. I've never seen a dog run that fast before. And I'm sitting there with the flashlight looking, and I kind of swing it back behind him. And when I do, it looks like it reminded me, I didn't see the head on this thing because this thing was moving so fast. And when the light hit it, the head of this thing was already past my gate, but I could see this hump on its shoulders, and I could see the back end of it. And when I saw all of that, I mean, this thing looked like a bull running through the yard like a lightning bolt, and he was after my dog, or it was after my dog. That huge hump on its shoulders and everything, I didn't know what the heck it was. I had nothing in my brain to tell me, what this creature was, but I knew it was after my dog, and there was nothing I could do for him. The way they were both running, I mean, just flat out. So I snatched open my door, and I slammed it shut and locked it, and I just stood there for a second waiting to hear screaming and stuff, my dog being torn apart, which I didn't hear. I never heard it. And it scared the mess out of me, because I didn't know what this was. And so that next morning, I didn't sleep all night. The next day I go out there, I'm looking, I don't see any tracks anywhere. Between the leaves and the hard packed dirt and everything, I couldn't find anything. But my dog was out there, thank goodness. And I opened up the gate, and he walked right in. I didn't have to ask him, nothing. And I didn't see any scratches on him or anything where he'd been hurt. But he didn't argue with me anymore about coming into the fence. And I took a measuring tape out there with me, and where I saw the hump on its shoulders was 5.5 feet tall. That's about my height. Where I saw its back end, and from the edge of my gate, I measured back, and that from that post on my gate on back, it was 9.5 feet, and it was running on all fours. So I can't imagine how tall this thing would be if it was standing up straight. But I think that this thing running around my truck like that, I think they had to have been watching mine and my dog's pattern when I'd come home at night like that. Because if it was running around my truck making that panting noise, I think it was trying to make it seem like it was my dog, and I would just go ahead and get out of the truck. And if I had probably hung around out there a little while longer that night, and my dog hadn't taken off into the brush like he did, I don't know what was going to happen. But I think it was kind of sinister to have something like that mimicking my dog and then come running through like that. Of course, it was after him, though, but I don't know if my dog had made it mad to the point where it was chasing him, or maybe it was just waiting for me to kind of lollygag around, till it could pounce. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be, guessing would just be speculation on your part, but you're probably right. It sounds like, I mean, everything you've described so far has been of the Dogman variety. Is that what you think you've had more of an issue with on this property?
I've actually seen them. Now, the Bigfoot, I've found tracks. Now, as far as seeing them, I think I've gotten a glance one night, but it was just a black silhouette. But I'm not real sure about that because on this silhouette, it had a muzzle on it, but it was like a blunt type muzzle. And this thing was extremely tall, and it was gangly. It didn't have a big body mass on it like I've seen on some of these Dogman. But I don't know what this was. I said, the muzzle on it wasn't very long, but it seemed like you know how on a Saint Bernard, how their muzzles look like they're blunt, they're not just pointed straight out.
Yes.
That's quite what this was. But the other thing too that kind of got to me was on the back of its head on this thing. Now, mind you, I couldn't see any features on it. I could just see the silhouette as it went by the light. But the back of its head, it looked like the hair was sticking straight out on the back of its head. And the Dogmen that I've seen, they've got a tuft of hair that goes back there, but it goes on down their back. And when I've seen them run, this big tuft of hair, it doesn't go all the way down their back, but a good majority of it. And when they run, that big tuft of hair back there just kind of bounces with them when they run. But this thing, it just looks like his hair was spiked out through the back, out the back of its head, and I didn't see that tuft of hair going down the back. So I'm not sure. I don't know if that was a juvenile Bigfoot, maybe one of the messed up kind. Maybe they've been inbreeding or something a little bit too much. I don't know. But I didn't stick around outside.
Now, Lisa, do you have the ability to see right now? I mean, can you see the screen? Can you see me right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put up a picture of a track. Tell us about this track right here.
Okay.
Just give it a minute. You'll have a delay on the system.
There you go.
Okay. That was a track that I found back in the 80s when I used to go walk around on our property. We had some property out in the country and in another place. And I used to take my dog down there. We had moved from there, but we still owned it. And I would take my dog down there, and we'd just walk around, most of the day, hitting the creek and stuff like that. And that track right there is one of the last times I saw those tracks. My shoe, I wear a women's size 9 or 9.5. This thing that I got the track next to my shoe print, it had been raining there, so the track's kind of messed up. But the stride in between that foot and the one behind where that track was, it was 4.5 feet between strides. And this thing had come up out of the creek and had stepped up on the bank. And then where it stepped up on the bank at, that was the next print that it made where my foot is, right there next to it. And I used to see those all the time when I was a kid. If we had some other property that joined where we were living at that time, where that track is. And when I was real little, my parents and I, we'd go walking in the woods and stuff, and we would find those tracks all over the place. And some of them were humongous. I mean, we're talking about 16, 17 inches long. And they were just all over the little creek that we had back there. There was two of them that joined together. And all around the little bit of sand that was beside those two little creeks, that type of footprint would be all over the place. And it scares me now because back when I was about 7 years old, I didn't think anything about going to the woods and building me a little lean-to and taking my dad's military sleeping bag and just spending the night down there all by myself. But nothing ever bothered me. Nothing ever scared me down there. But yet those tracks were all over the place.
What did your parents tell you those were? I mean, I'm sure you showed them.
They didn't know. They didn't know. My dad used to say it kind of reminded him of the panther. We had panthers back there, those black panthers that everybody says don't exist. Well, I know for the dang fact that they do.
Yeah.
We had a female that stayed back there all the time. She never bothered me. She never bothered anybody. I used to watch her, playing with her cubs, or I guess that's what you call them, cubs, or babies. But I think one time I might have gotten too close to her. I was living out in the country. My parents, they bought me a little motorcycle one year, and I was kind of messing around down there and stuff, and it ran out of gas. I wasn't paying attention, but I just kind of laid it over because the hill that I was on, putting it up on a kickstand, it was just falling over anyway. So I just laid it down. It was out of gas, whatever. And I started walking up the hill. And I noticed that every time I would start walking over in the brush, I would hear something walking. And if I'd stop trying to look, it would stop. But then I noticed this real low growl. And I was screaming in my head, don't run, because I was raised, if it's a predator of some kind, you don't run because they're going to chase you.
Yep.
And I made it up out of the hill there. I mean, if that was her, she never bothered me, but I always thought that maybe I got too close to her. At least I hope that was her.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know you'd been dealing with this stuff ever since you were a small child. Now, even these incidents, were they also in the state of Alabama?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to pop this picture up.
I'm sorry?
I'm going to pop this next picture up, and I want you to tell us what we're looking at, okay?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
Okay, that is a tooth that I found. I'm not real sure what it belongs to, but I know if I'm a human, I wouldn't want that tooth in my mouth. It's too big.
You're right about that. I hate to run into whatever that come from.
I'm sorry?
I said I would hate to run into whatever that came out of.
You ain't lying. I've got another one that's just a little bit bigger than that one that I found in another county next to the river. It always blew my mind because, people that I was with, they said, that's got to be from an Indian burial. And I said, that's not one of us. I said, can you imagine this being in your jaw? I said, you wouldn't have any room left for anything.
Wow. Now, I guess this is kind of a dumb question, but you haven't had this examined by anyone or sent off? Because I think if you would have sent it off to have examined, you wouldn't still have it.
No, I don't play with those people. No. I don't send anything off. I mean, look at me now. I don't even want my name out. So
yeah.
I don't trust folks like that. I've seen and heard too many people talking about they sent stuff off and then it was mysteriously lost, So,
Or or they dropped it in bleach, or something weird happened to it.
exactly, yeah.
You're right. But I mean, that definitely looks like a tooth. It really does.
Yeah, that's definitely a tooth. That ain't no deer tooth. I've
No.
seen deer mouths and everything else. That's flat on top like a human tooth.
Now,
And
since now go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you, buddy.
um, if anybody fully knows, you see what maybe another animal could possibly have that, feel free, please say something in the comments and let us know. But I can tell
Please.
you right now, that's not a deer meat or deer tooth, and I don't think it's going to be a possum because they're too small. I mean, that's almost about what was that size of your about bigger than the size of your thumb there, ain't it, Lisa?
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty big tooth. It has to be a molar of some sort, that, the back of your mouth. I mean,
Yep.
Unless, a different kind of mouth. I don't know. I don't know much about animal teeth and stuff. I know goats and horses and things like that and deer, but I always thought that looked like a human to me, or some type of humanoid type tooth. I don't know though. I'm not going to say yes or no on that.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, let's see about. I know a horse tooth. Most of theirs is in the back. Some of them, I mean, they do have front teeth, but their front teeth are usually skinnier, so they can cut to the blades of grass. Usually, the back and the cows is usually something like that, but they're maybe could be same size as that, but I don't think. I don't. I mean, you found that in the middle somewhere in the middle of nowhere, right?
I found that one on my place.
So, which is out in the woods. So, I mean, do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know of any pasture, or is it just in the wooded areas?
I'm not sure what was there before I bought the place. I found some wire out there. It's possible that the people there before me could have had a horse, but I'm not real sure. I'm not real sure about who they were or what all they had out there. But I don't know. That's the only one that I have found like that out there. I look all the time, but that one right there is almost exactly like the other one that I found in the other county back when I was a kid. I've still got it too. It's packed away though, but it just amazes me if you can't see it on that picture, of course, but up close, I've even gotten a magnifying glass and looked at it. You can still see where the enamel was around the tooth itself and where it ends, and down there around that root, you can see like two little holes, maybe where nerves were attached. I'm not sure.
Right.
I don't know how all that works, but the top of it's been ground down a little bit, like something was, chewing on hard stuff. Of course, I don't know how old this thing is either, though.
Wow, that's pretty good. I like. I think. I mean, that could be. I don't know. I've raised with horses, and I've never seen them really drop a tooth out like that. Most of the time they'll swallow them, and then or it'll be chewed up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty impressive right there, just having that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that. Definitely interesting. I'm going to kind of go through some of these next pictures pretty quick because they're all pretty much the same. But talk a little bit about what's going on with these, Lisa.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's an orb. People will fuss and make fun and stuff like that. They'll say it's dust and bugs, but that particular orb right there, I ended up on my butt about 6 feet from where I had been standing when that blew up in my face. My dogs took off running, the tails between their legs. It was like a 22 going off. Some people tried to tell me that gas, like swamp gas or something like that, and that's not what that was.
So it actually exploded in front of you?
Yeah. Yes, it did. And that right there caused the whole bucket of chain reaction crap fest that night. Right there. Orbs, when I first moved out there, orbs were all over the place. I mean, the thing about them, I was telling Jasper that when the sun would be going down, it's almost like you could hear this big group of people walking in the woods. You know how when the leaves are extremely dry and it makes that swishy sound when you're walking and that crunchy sound?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounded like a big group of people walking through the woods, but I never did see anybody. And as soon as the sun went down and it went dark out there, orbs would start coming through the tree line into where my house was. And it used to just blow my mind because I've seen orbs all my life, but not in the numbers like they were out when I first moved there. It was incredible. I never did say anything. And back then, it was like I was telling him, you know, I was 10 foot tall and bulletproof. The stuff didn't scare me because it was just fascinating to me. And so I would take pictures of all this stuff. And I got to noticing that as you take pictures of these things, that flash on your camera or maybe on your phone, back then I had a digital camera, and that flash, it seemed like it would drive them back into the woods again. And so that particular night with that orb, I was out there and I snapped, you know, a couple of pictures, you know, with orbs in it. And then I started noticing, you know, they were going back into the trees. And so for some stupid reason that night, you know, out loud, I said, why do you guys always disappear when I start taking your pictures? And I still had my camera up because, you know, I would just keep, you know, snapping pictures, you know, one right after the other. And as soon as I said that, this one came, and I saw it. It came flying up towards my face, and I snapped the picture just as it was doing that, you know, just blowing apart. And my camera was laying off to the side, but I was sitting on my butt. I mean, it's just like something just like picked you up and just threw you down. I mean, there was nothing there except that. But whatever I had done, it made something mad. Now, I had come outside before the sun went down, so I hadn't left any lights on in my house. And so when that happened, you know, I said it was time to go in because it scared me. And I walked into the house and I flipped on the light, and all I heard was poof, and the light was out. So then I walk on into the house and I turn on another light, poof. Every light that I turned on in the house that night exploded in the socket. I had to get my flashlight and go back there and turn the breaker off and take some needle nose pliers and unscrew the metal out of the socket so I could replace the light bulb. And that happened in every single light that I turned on that night. I almost ended up changing every light bulb in the house out that night. And that was just because of that incident right there. Because later on, I wake up and, you know, it's dark in the room, but it looked like, and not hundreds, I'm talking about thousands of these things were in my bedroom floating around. And I just kind of like, what the hell, you know, because, I mean, that freaked me out. And I just kind of pulled the sheet up a little bit and shut my eyes and stuff, and I opened them back up. And they were just sitting there floating around, and slowly you could see them going back out through the windows. They were going through the walls, and till finally all of them were just completely gone. But I woke up out of a dead sleep, just snap, you know, I'm instantly awake, and then there they are. And they'll do that. It's just like you don't see anything, and then poof, there's one right there beside you. And they're all different colors. They're not just white or anything like that.
Wayne,
people started telling me that, you know, it's just dust and bugs. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just taking stupid pictures. So I started doing little experiments. It was like I would place myself where the wind would be blowing towards my back. And as I was snapping pictures, I would sit there seeing these things, and I could see them with my own eyes, too. All of a sudden, you know, there'd be nothing, then hundreds of orbs, and then just a little bit less on the next one. But the only thing is, with the wind blowing like towards them, dust and bugs are not going to be coming towards you against the wind. They're going to be blowing with the wind. But all these orbs were coming closer and closer, even with the wind blowing towards them.
Hey, Wayne, pop that. You have the picture that shows a bunch of orbs in it that she sent you. Hang on, Lisa. We'll see if we can get that one up. Yeah, that one there.
That one right there, a friend of mine looked at that, and he said it's got too many right angles on it. Yeah, those are the ones. In fact, that picture right there, I think that was the night I was doing that experiment the first time with the wind, because I had a good bit of breeze out there that night, and the wind is blowing towards those orbs, but they were coming closer and closer against the wind.
And this is from the digital camera, right?
Yeah, digital camera. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, we've still got several pictures that we can go through, but we're coming up on an hour here, and
well, I know already that some of the guests. Lisa, I would love to have you for a part 2.
This is what I want to read. I'm sure. I don't know if Lisa can see the screen there. Yeah. But Sharon Guy said, Jasper and Wayne, she is awesome. Thanks so much for having her here tonight. And people are already asking for you to come back. So would you do that for us?
Sure. Yeah, I'll come back. I was scared to come on, but this isn't bad.
I told you it wasn't that bad. I told you it was going to be fine.
You have been a hit tonight. Go ahead, buddy.
Figure out how to get the way you get time. Well, maybe the second one you can figure out how to get that the mic thing working and everything. And if we have to, I don't mind doing this again too, like this. It'd be great. I mean, this worked.
Yeah, it worked.
It worked out. I mean, it really did.
I'm sorry I couldn't get it to work on my end. I don't know what I'm not real good with stuff like this. I was thinking it was just call in and talk. I didn't know about that, and then when I kept trying to hook into it, it kept telling me it wouldn't allow it, and I never could figure out what to look at to either enable it or disable something else to enable it. I couldn't figure it out.
Right. Well, I got at least I know I asked you about, possibly, us coming down there and actually talking to you in person and coming and investigating with you down there. I know you still, hopefully you're still thinking about it. And if you still say no, we're still understandable with it. But we'd really like, even if it's just me and Wayne, we would love to come check this stuff out. I know you're worried about it amping up, and I don't think it will amp up. We don't really have anything amping up too bad on us. But just think about it. That invitation, I would love to come down there and check out the place and investigate, and you can actually point out everything to us. But just keep thinking about it.
I'll think about it. It's just like it doesn't take much, and I mean just by walking in there sometimes, I mean it can be quiet for months, and just me walking into the woods back there, something goofy or nutty is going to happen that night or maybe the next day, and it's just like it triggers something. I've had people over there at the house, and them not even know anything because I don't tell everybody.
Right.
And then I play hell for the next week or so. I mean, I don't know what it is. I have no idea. I don't understand it. I don't know if it's cryptid stuff causing it. I don't know what it is.
True. It's possible. I mean, it's but I'll tell you what, I'd love to have an invitation for you that you join the group for this. And since you got that area down there, we'd love to have you be, I would say, what? I don't know, Wayne, be the lead investigator down there in South Alabama for us. Think about that and get back to us. I'd love to have that. That'd be great because
it sure seems like she's got some experience down there with what she's been going through. Yeah, it's definitely something we can talk about.
Yeah.
This stuff has been going on since I was a baby. I mean, my mother was like this too. I mean, all kinds of stuff happened to her But I I've seen some crazy mess my entire life.
That
I've got my best friend. He used to laugh at me and stuff till he started seeing it. Of course, he's gone now, but after a while, you know, he'd hear somebody else, you know, making fun of me and stuff. He's like, "Oh no," he said, "don't do that." He said, "Because I guarantee you," he said, "if you start making fun, you're gonna see it." But,
that invitation's out there, ma'am,
going
and
on forever.
we'd be excited, and I know everybody else will be excited for you to join. And hopefully, the next time when we get you on here, we can have that. I know you sent me a recording of something. Wayne's got it, but we'll see if we can. Hopefully, we can get that up next time, and definitely play that. And
we should be able to play it next time.
That'd be great. But if you get anything else, anything new, do whatever you gotta do. You know what to do. Get it and send it in to me. Send it to Wayne. We definitely want to get you on board. It'd be. I think it's a win-win situation for you and us, and we can have him help you out somehow.
Well, thank you. I just get kind of weirded out when stuff starts happening, and I know that I've caused it or been tinkering around in the woods and stuff, and it's just it's like everything just kind of flies up on you at one time when things start happening, and it gets kind of creepy. I mean,
I can imagine.
There ain't nobody there to grab and hang on to and throw at it.
All right. Well, Lisa, thank you again, ma'am, for taking the time and coming and hanging out with us for a little while tonight. We sure do appreciate it. And Walls will be, Jasper will be in touch with you tonight, probably tomorrow. Let you get some rest tonight. About setting up a return visit, if you don't mind, ma'am.
Okay. I enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. You have a good night, okay?
All right, you too. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Where you at, buddy?
I'm here.
Good find, man. That was awesome.
Hey, I didn't find it. She found us. And actually, the credit goes to Illinois.
Illinois Sasquatch, Dogman.
Yeah, that one. He sent her to us, and we appreciate it. I don't know if he was on tonight, but that was.
Yeah, but you've been the one in contact with her. Normally, it's me that's talking to the people and setting up the shows, and you've been on this one from the beginning, and you've done a great job with it. Yeah, she trusts you, and that's what's important, man. So yeah, good job getting her to us.
Yep, it was exciting when I seen them pictures. I mean, I was like, dude, we got something big here.
I hope she comes around and lets us come down.
I'm gonna tell y'all, when we get that next title up for her to come on the second one, and we can get that recording up, it's gonna blow y'all's mind away. It ain't a Bigfoot. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not a Bigfoot. It's something else. It makes the hair stand on your back because you get faintly hear it. Yeah, it's something else.
We'll see if we can get it up and get it going next time she comes. All right, buddy, you got anything else before we get out of here?
No, probably not, guys. But if you do, guys, get out there, in the woods, be careful. It is getting springtime. A lot more activities gonna happen probably. But be good to each other, and hope you guys have a good night and a blessed week.
All right, buddy. Yeah, like you said, everybody, y'all be good to each other. Take care of each other. And, yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us for a little while. We will see you next time. Be good, guys.